This week on WestfordCAT News, the school committee talks budget.
I'm proposing a budget of $62,541,000.
Town Manager Jodi Ross prepares for some belt tightening. A new law may give disabled and low-income seniors property tax relief. I'm Joyce Polino Crane. Stay with us. WestfordCAT News is next. The fiscal 2021 and 2022 budgets that got eaten up by COVID-19 this year were briefly discussed by the Select Board. The discussion was in preparation for Town Manager Jodi Ross's budgetary presentation on February 9th.
Yes, thank you. So just briefly, our revenues are off. You know that we've talked about it. Mostly hotel and restaurant are down, but there's certainly other things that are off too. And so Dan and I are tracking this every day. And at this point, I think we've mentioned, and we still have a deficit just under 300,000 for 21. We are hearing that there may be some unrestricted state aid coming our way. I don't think it'll close the entire gap. There's a couple areas we're also watching, which is fire overtime and also solid waste, which continues to cost a lot. So at this point, I think, we're keeping a close eye. We are concerned with the amount of free cash that is generated at the end of the year, because obviously we use that for capital. One of the things I added to your packet is closeouts. We've been tracking closeouts very diligently here, and we've been taking a lot of measures to have closeouts. And we did give you a list by town department of what we're expecting. Most of those are positions we haven't filled yet. I would like to fill them depending on what happens next year. But where we've been able to, assistant accountant, planner, assistant planner, some other building positions, we've been holding off.
To watch the entire Select Board meeting on demand, visit westfordcat.org. The school committee is meeting every Monday this winter. On the off weeks, discussions will be solely about the budget. Here's Superintendent Bill Olsen with the opening of a budget presentation he gave on January 25th.
This is the first step in the process of establishing a fiscal 2022 budget that hopefully will serve students well, will serve staff well, and will serve taxpayers well also. We all know that we have a long way to go in this process. The federal revenues are still uncertain at this time, state revenues, local revenues. We have labor negotiations similar to what the town manager has in other town departments. And we need to continue to proceed through the current fiscal year to see if, between the school system and all other town departments, if it's possible to continue to leverage our financial position and therefore our service position into fiscal 22. So with that being said, I'm proposing a budget of $62,541,000. Ingrid, if we can have the slide. And we wanted to capture this student because that picture pretty much represents what we're all about. Okay, we have a young child, and what we didn't know at the time, and I don't mean to embarrass anyone, we had no idea that this happened to be one of Sean's sons. And so we had about 8 pictures. We thought this would capture kind of everything about education and where we are right now in a pandemic. So Ingrid, if we can take a look at the next slide. So proposing a $62 million budget, $62,541,199. That represents a 2.12% increase over fiscal 21, one of the smallest percentage increases that I have ever proposed in 35 years in this school system. One of the things, the issues that helped us in developing this budget was the deep cuts that we made this current year. Now, some of them were cuts from actual services, but some of them were cuts in terms of staff to scale down to enrollment decline. And so some of the reduction in force helped us transitioning into this fiscal year. So the budget is developed on the enrollment projections, the needs of students, and we've done some position reconfigurations also.
To watch the entire school committee meeting, visit WestfordCAT.org. A major hurdle cleared earlier this month when Governor Charlie Baker signed into law a bill that was written to give qualified seniors property tax relief as they grapple with rising taxes on fixed incomes. Westford was granted a home rule petition by state legislators and then approved by the governor. A group of residents, including Paul Fassbender, sat on a tax relief committee. Members worked diligently to shape the program. Fassbender praised State Representative James Arcero and State Senator Ed Kennedy for their support in getting the petition passed.
The process required that we have the legislature actually create a home rule petition, which turns into a law specifically for Westford to allow us to do this. Now that we have the law, the next step is the measure must be approved by all residents on the next town election.
So what would you tell an up-and-coming senior like me? What should I know about financial planning in my future?
Well, if you're just starting to think about it as you're about to turn 65 or whatever your retirement age is these days, chances are the first statement is, why didn't you think about this 20 or 30 years ago? Retirement planning is something that's really hard to do at the last minute because it requires usually setting aside money, realizing that things like Social Security aren't going to probably let you enjoy the lifestyle that you've enjoyed while you had a paycheck coming in every week.
Now Fassbender is pushing for two key points. I sat down with him on January 25th to find out what they were. He asks for those who can afford it to donate to the Friends of the Cameron Senior Center, which provides services to seniors throughout town. Fassbender said he would also like Westford voters to approve the home rule petition at the May town election. This will launch a 3-year trial for the program, he said. Meanwhile, Fassbender continues to help with efforts designed to help seniors.
What are seniors facing in Westford right now? The cost of living has gone up and property taxes have gone up with the values of their homes. So that must be very difficult if they're on fixed incomes.
It absolutely is. And in many ways, Westford is really fortunate because we have a lot of seniors who are not on fixed income. They have been lucky to have had good careers and have money set aside for retirement and so forth, and can afford to pay property taxes without issue. The problem we discovered a number of years ago is that there are also a number of low-income seniors in town who depend on Social Security for their primary income. Fortunately, it's a relatively small number of people, but for them, the rapid rise of Westford property taxes, in addition to other expenses, especially healthcare expenses and food, is going up way faster than their income. The average increase for Social Security over the last 12 years for their, quote, cost of living increase has been about 1.3%. I'm sure any of us taking a quick look and remembering our trips to Market Basket and other places over the years will realize our costs are going up much higher than that. A lot of seniors prefer to stay in their homes, and basically retire in place because they've lived there all their lives. They have their contacts in Westford. They don't want to go into nursing homes and so forth. And so it becomes really important for them to figure out how they're going to pay the bills.
To watch the entire Main Street interview on demand, visit WestfordCAT.org. Military veterans age 65 or older and registered as part of the VA healthcare system may contact the Bedford Veterans Administration to see if they're eligible to receive the COVID-19 vaccine. The number to call between 7 a.m. and 7 p.m. is 781-687-4000. For non-veterans, the state is wrapping up Phase 1 this month and will begin vaccinating people aged 75 and older in early February, as well as those who qualify because of health conditions. More information is available on the town's website. A trip to Mount Kilimanjaro in 2010 sparked an idea for a charity founded by Westford resident Ed Dean. While climbing the mountain, Dean got to know the porters and guides who carried the loads belonging to recreational hikers. Dean's charity, climbforachild.com, imparts book knowledge and life skills to a few hand-picked students whose families mostly live at the base of the mountain. Sponsors pay $2,000 per year to cover the students' living expenses as they take online courses. I wrote an in-depth story for you, Westford, about Dean and his charity. You can find it at westfordcatnews.org. Dean can be reached by email at ed@climbforachild.org. That's it for now, Westford. We leave you with Police Chief Tom McEnaney's departure from the police station on January 22nd as he began his retirement. We wish him well.
Starting a new chapter on January 24th, 2021.
It's heartfelt from me and my family, and you're in good hands with the next crew. I can guarantee it. But thank you so much. It's really been an honor for me to be the chief here. It's an amazing department, an amazing town, and I loved every minute of it. But thank you guys.
You did a great job, Tom.